With the escalation of the situation in the Taiwan Strait, is the Three Gorges Dam likely to become the target of an asymmetric counterattack? The pros and cons, safety, and impact of the Three Gorges Dam have always been the focus of attention. Recently, the Three Gorges Dam has become a hot topic again in China. But it's not because of flooding, but a potential black swan event. Black swan events refer to very unpredictable and unusual events that often cause a chain of negative market reactions or even subversion. The Three Gorges Dam is the world's largest water conservancy project in terms of construction. For the Chinese, it is like a large basin of water over the heads of 600 million Chinese people, which is very dangerous. Let's take a look at a simulated video of what would happen if the Three Gorges Dam collapses. This video went viral in 2020. With its professional data, this video is believed to be a semi-official production by some industry insiders in China. After the collapse of the dam, floodwaters nearly 100 meters high rapidly dropped. Due to the barrier of the river and the mountains on both sides, the flood water can't be dispersed and the peak flow rate exceeds 100 kilometers per hour. The length of the river from the Three Gorges to Yichang City is 50 kilometers. Within 30 minutes after the dam collapses, the flood would have destroyed Gezhouba Dam and reached Yichang City. The 20-meter high flood would soon wipe out Yichang City at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour. Within 5 hours, the floodwaters of Yichang City would reach 10 meters. The floodwaters continue to push along the river after passing Yichang. The floodwaters are inundating towns along the river at a rate of no less than 60 kilometers per hour. The height of the floodwaters will be about 15 to 20 meters. After flooding the city of Yichang, the floodwaters rush out of the mountains and into the open plain. It begins to spread around and continues to push forward in a fan-like pattern. As the floodwater spreads out, its height will drop below 8 meters with a flow speed of 25 kilometers per hour. The flood velocity in the main channel of the Yangtze River is still no less than 35 kilometers per hour. Some of the floodwaters spilled out of the main channel will go straight to Wuhan. Above Yichang City in Hubei Province is the upper reaches of the Yangtze River. From Yichang to Anqing in Anhui Province, crossing 3 provinces, is the middle reaches of the Yangtze River. After that, Jiangsu Province and Shanghai are the lower reaches of the Yangtze River. Although Zhejiang Province is not close to the Yangtze River, many rivers in the region also flow into the Yangtze River, which can be regarded as the Yangtze River Basin. Therefore, the middle and lower reaches include 7 provinces and cities. Generally speaking, during the summer flood season, the water level of the Three Gorges Dam is 145 to 175 meters above sea level. If it collapses, floodwaters will engulf the regions of Yichang to Wuhan to Nanjing, then Shanghai. The Yangtze River Delta, China's most economically developed region, would be engulfed by the flood. No one wants a war, but whether there is a sword of Damocles hanging over the heads of the Chinese is the discussion we are trying to have. Goldsmith, a British expert on reservoirs and dams, once said that attacking the other's reservoir facilities is a means of international military and domestic political rivalry. The side that owns the dam is in a passive position. Apparently the CCP later realized this as well, claiming that the mass of the Three Gorges Dam could withstand a small nuclear bomb attack. After the completion of its first phase in 1997, the Hong Kong media revealed that the CCP's military commission had approved a special security regiment for the Three Gorges Dam. It includes 4 groups of ground-to-air missiles, a large fleet of Army helicopters, 8 patrol speedboats, and 24 mobile rapid response squadrons, a total number of 4,600 soldiers. But even such a defense force is insufficient. Later in 2013, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang signed a State Council decree promulgating the 4 levels of defense regulations for the Three Gorges project. The regulations stipulate that the scope of the Three Gorges Hub security zone includes the Three Gorges Hub and its surrounding specific areas, divided into land, water, and air security zones, unifying the Three Gorges hub security work by creating a 4-tier security coordination mechanism, including the central government, Hubei Province, Yiqiang City, to the Three Gorges Hub Operation Management Unit. So does it make the Three Gorges Dam safe from a military perspective? Unfortunately, no. Before the construction of the Three Gorges began, in early 1991, Chinese physics professor Qianwei Chang published a newspaper article entitled Revelations of the Gulf War. In the article, he talked about the Gulf War and the relationship between security and defense in constructing the Three Gorges Dam. He believes that the Three Gorges Dam will become the target of enemy threats. With current missile technology, the defense of the Three Gorges Dam is impossible. However, the Three Gorges Project feasibility study, which began in 1986, argued otherwise. One of the main points raised was that China would have enough time, namely 14 days or 7 days, to finish releasing water from the Three Gorges Dam before a war breaks out. Secondly, a former general manager of the Three Gorges Project once said that the Three Gorges Dam wasn't afraid of bombing and conventional weapons. The theory that supports such a claim is the theory of China's unrestricted warfare, which means that if anyone dares to launch a war or strike against the Three Gorges Dam, the CCP would retaliate with nuclear weapons. He suggested that Americans were afraid of death in nuclear wars. Therefore, it was inferred that China's Three Gorges project wouldn't be at risk of being bombed. At the same time, Beijing continues to publicize that the quality of the Three Gorges Dam can withstand the attack of a small nuclear bomb. All of this has given the Chinese people the illusion that it would take a nuclear weapon to blow up the Three Gorges. Actually, no, it is relatively easy to blow up a dam. China has built nearly 100,000 dams, many of them by blowing up old ones before building new ones. For example, in 2013, China blew up the Fengnan Reservoir built by the Japanese in the northeast and built a dam in front of it. It didn't take much dynamite to blow up the old dam. During World War II, in 1943, the British Air Force blew up 2 German dams simultaneously in one night. It included the most important dam in Germany. At the time, many people thought that it would be too difficult to blow up dams using airplanes. Aircraft would have to carry 40 tons of explosives and drop them at an altitude of 40,000 feet to be effective. But at that time, aircraft could only carry a maximum of 14 tons and fly at a maximum altitude of just over 20,000 feet. So blowing up dams using airplanes was considered impossible. The British invented a way to do it. They used spherical bouncing bombs to jump over the surface of the mine net, which entered the water and exploded underwater. Eventually, bombs rolled on the water in the reservoir towards the dam. It rolled into where the dam was and then sank 15 meters before exploding. The British Air Force destroyed 2 dams in one fell swoop. 19 bombers were basically wiped out, and 52 pilots were killed. 400 million tons of floodwater instantly tilted down, more than 30,000 soldiers were killed on the spot, and more than 200 factories were swallowed up downstream in Germany. More than 20 nearby towns were also impacted. This incident helped accelerate the defeat of Germany in World War II. The CCP's propaganda reassures the public that whoever blows up the Three Gorges Dam commits a crime against humanity. Therefore, the probability of the dam being blown up is very small. But the escalating crisis in the Taiwan Strait is the Chinese Communist Party's way of adding to the world's nerves. And when war does come, everything will become unpredictable.
Intentions in a number of ways. In terms of the range of its missile tests, China is clearly trying to deter other countries from interfering in its attempt to invade Taiwan. Its rehearsal of anti-access and area denial, or A2AD, tactics gives us a clear image of China's geostrategic ambition beyond Taiwan. In other words, China's real intention behind these military exercises is to alter the status quo in the Taiwan Strait and the entire region.
Judging from the CCP's military drills that started on August 4th, it is clear that once the war in the Taiwan Strait starts, it won't be a conventional war like the one between Russia and Ukraine. Both Europe and the US are trying hard to prevent Ukraine from striking back into Russian territory for fear of irritating Russia and the possible use of nuclear weapons, which may even trigger World War III. The military drills just completed by the CCP demonstrate that the missiles and planes would be used to bomb Taiwan before the landing. If the PLA uses missiles and planes to bomb Taiwan, why can't Taiwan use missiles to counterattack? Can the CCP find a reason to stop the use of missiles by Taiwan? On June 12, 2022, the president of Taiwan's legislative Yuan, Xikun, said that Taiwan's supersonic Yunfeng missile had begun mass production. The missile has a range of 2,000 kilometers and can reach Beijing. He said that self-help and others' assistance were the most important revelation to Taiwan from the Ukrainian-Russian war, and that the Taiwanese should be like Ukraine in fighting out the enemy. After the Taiwan Strait crisis in 1996, Taiwan began to develop the Yunfeng missile. It's a ground-to-ground supersonic cruise missile, one of Taiwan's few strategic assets designed to target northern and central China. If one draws a circle of 2,000 kilometers, the Three Gorges Dam, Yichang, and other places are within the missile's range of attack.
做行政院长的时阵，知影有诶袂使讲，就讲伊拢会当已经会当讲甲北京。你中国要拍台湾，你就爱考虑好，阮是有能力拍甲北京。无定你到尾要拍台湾是，伤敌800，自损1000。
The president of the Taiwan Legislative Yuan said this: "Of course, Taiwan did not want to invade China, unlike Jiang Jieshi, Chiang Kai-shek, who wanted to counterattack the mainland. Taiwan will not take the initiative to attack Beijing and the Three Gorges Dam, but before Beijing attacks Taiwan, it must first think that Taiwan has the ability to attack Beijing as well." In 2018, Taiwan's Defense Advisory Board member and military expert Song Jiawen said in a Facebook post that the Yunfeng missile has a range of more than 2,000 kilometers and can reach a speed of Mach 3. Mach 3 is 3 times the speed of sound, and supersonic missiles are very difficult to defend against with general anti-missile systems. At the time, he said that if Taiwan could have more than 500 Yunfeng high-altitude cruise missiles in the future, which could generate effective threats and disrupt the rhythm of operations against Taiwan, it would be conducive to the peaceful development of the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. On June 13, 2022, Song Jiawen announced to Taiwan that technical mass production is a quantity that has been established for Yunfeng too. Yunfeng missiles are coated with invisible coatings, hard to detect by radar and not easy to spot. If Taiwan really attacks the Three Gorges Dam with missiles, and it collapses, the CCP's war machine would basically be paralyzed. Because from Wuhan to Nanjing and Shanghai, if there is a flood, the entire north-south traffic would be interrupted and the Beijing-Guangzhou Railway would be cut off. If the north-south traffic were interrupted, it would make it difficult for the north to control the south, troops wouldn't be able to deploy, and economic production would be disrupted or halted as well. At the end of 1988, there was a book jointly published by several Chinese authors titled Yangtze River. In the book, one of the authors pointed out that the area around the Three Gorges Dam in Hubei province and the neighboring Henan province is where China's troops are stationed. 90% of China's airborne troops and 80% of its mechanized divisions are concentrated in this area. If the enemy bombed the Three Gorges Dam, there is no doubt that China would lose any upper hand in the war. That is to say, a weaker party not only must have defensive weapons, but also needs to possess offensive weapons, which will deter the enemy from acting rashly. In addition, Chinese generals boasted to the people. For example, one said, "I could conquer Taiwan in 3 days." And the other said, "After 24 hours, I would have coffee at the presidential palace in Taiwan." In the face of the high pressure of the coming war, is it possible for Taiwan to also attack suddenly? In which case, war is likely to happen suddenly with no advance warning. The Three Gorges Dam probably wouldn't have a 7-day or 14-day period to release the reservoir's water. After the Tiananmen Square massacre on June 4, 1989, which was when Jiang Zemin ascended to the position of General Secretary of the CCP, he showed considerable interest in the Three Gorges project. He also helped push it forward with great enthusiasm. Amid many controversies, Jiang and others forced the approval of the Three Gorges project. The then Prime Minister Li Peng later said in his memoirs that after 1989, all major decisions regarding the Three Gorges project were made by Jiang Zemin. In 2009, after the completion of the dam, the top leaders of the Communist Party including then General Secretary Hu Jintao and Premier Wen Jiabao, were not present at the site as they had realized that the dam was a blunder, but there was no turning back. China has never been short of clear-headed and truly patriotic people. The authors of the aforementioned book, The Yangtze River, are opponents of the Three Gorges project. Moreover, the most well-known opponent is Huang Wanli, a prominent professor of water conservancy at Tsinghua University and a renowned expert in water conservancy engineering. He petitioned 6 times to oppose the construction of dams on the Three Gorges, but the decision-makers did not adopt his views. The concerned professor, who was worried about the nation and the people, detailed 12 downsides of the project. They were: first, the collapse of the main embankment at the Yangtze rivers downstream. Second, the obstruction of navigation. Third, the immigration problems. Fourth, the problem of sediment buildup. Fifth, deterioration of water quality. Sixth, inadequate power generation. Seventh, abnormal weather. Eighth, frequent earthquakes. Ninth, proliferation of blood fluke. 10th, deterioration of ecology. 11th, serious flooding in its upstream. 12th, the eventual blow-up of the dam. His son later added one of his unpublished opinions, that is, the construction of the Three Gorges Dam would have created a weak spot in the national defense and would actually help the enemy. There would be no need for atomic bombs. Ordinary bombs could have destroyed everything. It wouldn't be feasible national defense-wise. The former Chinese defense minister, Zhang Aiping, raised the same views at the time. In his old age, when Huang Wanli was seriously ill and in a coma, he still mumbled, "Three Gorges, the Three Gorges, the Three Gorges must not go up." On August 27, 2001, Huang passed away with endless regrets. Since the completion of the Three Gorges project, natural disasters in mainland China have been constant. Major droughts, high temperatures, floods, earthquakes, and other calamities are frequent.
人走下去肯定是头都给你砸肿，看到没？这么大的冰雹！
啊，这个妈的疯了！这个天气，哇，冰雹像鸡蛋一样的，哇！
It is safe to say that 11 of the 12 predictions made by Huang about the catastrophic consequences of the Three Gorges Dam have become reality, leaving only the last one, namely that the Three Gorges Dam would eventually have to be blown up, or whether the CCP will still exist at that time. It is just that now, China's calls to start a war in the Taiwan Strait are getting louder and louder.
如果有人胆敢把台湾分裂出去，
If anyone dares to split Taiwan, the Chinese army will not hesitate to fight. and will fight to the end at all costs.
一定会，
This is China's only choice.
这是中国不二的选择。
那刚开始只能用武力吧。
In the beginning, only force could be used. Later, after the force, peace could be discussed step by step. If you just start talking with peace, it is meaningless. Words are meaningless. Only military might can be seen as real deterrence.
还是要拳脚齐人撑撑的。
Yet little pinks who have been brainwashed for a long time have never understood the danger of war. Perhaps only when they are swallowed by the flood will they realize that the CCP's so-called fight against Taiwan at all costs is actually at the cost of their own lives.